It was about 50 or 60 years before the Hosannas, what we commemorate on Palm Sunday, before Jesus rode into Jerusalem, fulfilling the prophecy that the Savior would do so on a colt, on a donkey. It's about 50, 60 years before all this that the Aeneid by Virgil was distributed to teachers, statesmen, artists by Caesar Augustus. And in that epic poem having to do with the founding of Rome, you heard about this image. There was a Trojan horse. The Greeks, in order to destroy the city of Troy, presented those people a massive wooden horse. But inside of that wooden horse was a bunch of Greeks who that night would come pouring out of the Trojan horse to destroy those Trojans. Once Jesus said this, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I have not come to bring peace, but the sword." Well, never hiding. We heard it today. Day after day I was with you in the temple area. And we'll hear this on Good Friday from Jesus. "In secret I have said nothing." Anything he had to say from the Father, he did say it. While never hiding, he snuck on the key occasions. He snuck in, he snuck out. He snuck into this world through two humble, cooperative parents, Mary and Joseph. He snuck in that way, very, very small and vulnerable. But it was also open. There was a star above him. And the prophecy people were feeling was starting to be fulfilled with the birth. But it takes eyes to see, eyes of faith to see what he's bringing into the world. And later on, in his youth, Joseph would have to sneak him out of Israel to save his life from Herod, and then sneak him back. Palm Sunday is the last time in which he sneaks into people's lives. Very, very humbly, yet again. But he does slip in. And when he slipped in for this last time, this is the last of his work. And he only has a couple days to do it. When he slipped in this last time before his death, he was going to maximize the opportunity. And he would slip in as the destroyer. They didn't know what they were welcoming with that king riding in on a donkey, the palms they were throwing down. They didn't know that he was there to destroy. Bringing the sword, it wasn't the type that Peter offered to bring up. When he snuck in with cheers of Hosanna, he would do the fighting himself. Do you remember this from the Old Testament, from the book of Judges? You've heard of the figure Gideon? Gideon was going to fight on behalf of the Lord. He started off with 22,000 soldiers. And the Lord said, to prove that it's not you and your men who are going to have the victory, cut that army down in half. 10,000. And the Lord said, to prove it's not you and men who will win, cut it down more. And so it'll be 300 people that Gideon would fight with. In this last battle of God, it was just going to be one soldier. And his weapon was his flesh and his blood. This is the beginning of Holy Week. Please, Catholics, don't call this spring break. Young people, Catholics, represent, please. This is Holy Week. The theme of Holy Week as we enter, we start off with the humility. But I offer to you, all the while long, was that God's decoy. It wasn't the colt. It wasn't the donkey. The humility of God, not fake but real, was Jesus in his last hours, drawing out from people their souls. So humble, he didn't have too much to say. You can praise him, you can betray him, you can beat him, and he'll take those lashes. He'll take whatever you have, because he only has a couple of days left. So that's why he got so humble in these days, to absorb and draw out your souls. What do you believe in? I'm taking it now because I'm leaving soon. And you notice, in the temple, they would collect money for maintenance. They collected animals for sacrifices. They collected people for prayers. Jesus entered Jerusalem. He collected sin, betrayal, hatred, mockery, fickleness, indifference. Jesus took up the collection. This is the only time he did it in that comprehensive way. With everybody, he took up the collection. He didn't put it in his pockets. Where did he put his collection? In his flesh and blood. That's where he absorbed the collection. Whatever people gave to him, because he was so humble, they just gave, unknowingly at times. And he took it. And what was it that he took in his last days? He took the spiritual cancer of sin and betrayal. You know anything about cancer? I know you know a whole heck of a lot about cancer. Catholics never forget this. Jesus is a bigger deal than the James Center. Sometimes we think that the James Center will save things, and it's important. But before any of that stuff, Holy Week, Jesus came to absorb spiritual cancer. He became the host of the spiritual cancer, soaked it in, and then he let the people drive nails into his body to kill him. And he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Because they did not even know him to kill him. For most of them, it wasn't personal. But subconsciously, he let them kill him. Because he knew there's something in them. They needed to kill off their own sins. And I'm the one who took it. And by killing me, they're killing their sins. Do you see what he brought in? This is Palm Sunday. It's not just the humble king on a colt